A very common question I come across is, does the twin flame runner love me the same way I love him or her? And in order to understand the answer, you have to understand how differently you experience love and how differently you actually feel the sense of love. And this what is going to cause the huge difference in between the two feelings and in between the two of you. So the core is going to come from the fact that you experience the feelings very, very differently. The core is very coming from a different part of the nervous system, and you process information in different parts of the brain, I would say dominantly. The chaser is going to be more connected to the deeper part of the nervous system. This is the back of the vagus nerve, and these are more connected to theta brain waves. And this is going to be connected to the limbic part of the brain, which is the emotional part of the brain more. And the runner is going to be the opposite of you, that he or she is going to be connected in the brain, the analytical part of the brain more, and instead of the limbic part, the emotional part, there are three parts, going to be more connected to the newer part of the brain, or the newest part of the brain, which is the prefrontal cortex, that is responsible for long-term thinking and also impulse control. So basically blocking the internal emotions. And in the nervous system, they are connected to the front, which is closer to the alpha brainwaves. These are the feelings. So the difference here, if we compare the two, theta is going to be deeper than alpha. That's why chaser is going to feel everything deeper. It's more body-based. It's like the whole body is moving, and they can feel angrier a lot easier because they allow feelings to come up easier. They are also more connected to this internal awareness that we call ADHD, because they have less impulse control in the prefrontal cortex. But what you really have to understand is, when we compare these two emotions, that it's not about, okay, I feel like this and you feel like this and you compare that. No, how much you change in terms of percentage compared to your natural status. And when we compare that, your love is the same, that you change as much, you can feel as much, that I am connected to you as much. So here it can be very similar or same, even though your individual feeling is different, but the change, how you are when you are alone and how you are when you are with a person, can feel the change exactly the same. It's like the chaser is more used to spicy food. So when you eat a spicy dish, a very, very spicy one, you might feel it less intense. But if you would give the exact same thing to someone who doesn't eat as much spicy food, that would burn their stomach. They would feel it a lot spicy. But it's really the intensity, how much the intensity changes. And now we talk about what causes this difference. What is the mechanism that triggers the feeling of love, the feeling of connection? And coming from this, what is going to determine the breaking? So the chaser feels very easily, falls in love very easily as well, and it's more body-based, that my body reacts to this other person and I feel a sense of love. I feel very different and I feel this bond. And this is where you have to understand a huge trick in this, that what really happens is, because your emotional part is more dominant and more active, your head part is going to be less active. It's less sophisticated. The emotions are more sophisticated, more commonly used, but the head is not. And this is going to cause you the misinterpretation that a lot of impulse comes up to your head, But in that impulse, it's not only the sense of love, it's a lot of anxiety, it's a lot of fear. And what your brain interprets this whole thing into is the sense of love. There is a lot of energy coming up. And it's not that I am saying this, science says this. That's why when you go into a scary place or you go through scary experiences and you are with a person, you can feel more bound with that person as well, because there is a lot of things, there is a lot of change in your body. But in summary, for the chaser, it's that how differently I feel with this person. And the person doesn't have to look good, the person doesn't have to be blah, blah, blah. It's really the feeling that is going to determine. And this is where the runner is going to be completely different from you. For the runner, it's not the body first, head second. It's the opposite. Head first, body second. So how you look, how you make the runner look in the eyes of society, how valuable you are in terms of maybe you look great, or maybe you have a lot of money, or maybe you behave well, that is going to make the runner feel in a certain way, or you give enough. You prove enough. You prove that you are trustworthy because you give a lot. And this is where you can see this duality that the chaser wants to give and help, and the runner is more like I want to take. I want you to prove that you are worthy for my love. And they really work in a way that as soon as they feel that it's not in balance, then they move away. If they feel that they are better without you, then they also move away. The chaser doesn't think this way. It's that how they predominantly felt in the beginning. So they really want to bring that beginning of relationship when it was really great. They remember that very, very vividly deep down, and they believe if they do enough, that feeling is going to be restored. And that's why they keep going towards the runner. That's why they don't want to let the runner go. That's why they do anything to get that back. But the runner is different. They see that, okay, this is how it was in the beginning, but now it's not like that. So they see it as, I would say, as a chart, that it was like this, now it's getting worse and worse and worse. So I'm going to predict that it's going to getting even worse and worse and worse. And now it doesn't worth to put the effort in to try to restore. It's easier to start a new relationship where this good part will start all over, and we will say maybe this time it's going to last longer. So this is where the breaking point is, that the runner is going to move away a lot easier from you because their mindset is so different. And their mindset, again, is connected to the part of the brain that is very strong in impulse control, which are emotions. So even when they are hurt, so when it comes to a heartbreak, you want to do everything to stop the heartbreak by going towards the runner and fix it. And they take a very different approach, that they suffer, but they move away and they say, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to feel better with the new person, because they recall the negative parts a lot easier. You have hurt me this time, I cannot trust you, now it's just not equal. Or maybe they think you don't do as much as in the beginning, you don't put as much effort into it. So it's more head-based. They move back to the head a lot easier, and you move back to the emotions easier. And this is where your opposition is. This is where you mirror each other. But the healthy would be that you have both integrated within, not split into two different people. I hope this video was helpful, and see you in my next video.